Hey everyone, I'm Sugandha and you're watching Ready with HR and I hope so. You all are well and yes, you all are waiting for this day 4. This is candidate screening and evaluation and yes, this session is very interesting. You might be waiting for this. So let's have a quick recap. On day 1, we have discussed what is recruitment, introduction to recruitment, who are recruiters, what are the role of recruiters and their importance, and what are the current trends and challenges faced during the recruitment process. Okay, on day 2 we have discussed how to understand job requirements, what is job requirement, how to analyze it, how to understand it, how we can align key competencies and skills. Next, on day 3, we have done interesting session, that is sourcing strategies, where we have discussed about the sourcing techniques, how we can implement them. That was really great session. You must check it out. Now, today it's day 4, candidate screening and evaluation. If you haven't checked those day 1, 2, and 3, please check it out from the pin comment. That will be really helpful. Okay. So yes, today it's candidate screening and evaluation. Let's get started with it. But yes, before start, please make sure to subscribe this channel if you're watching me for the very first time, and yes, do hit that cute notification bell icon so that you could get my updates later on as well, right? So today we are going to discuss about what are the best screening practices, how to screen resume, what practices we can adopt. Next, we are going to discuss about how to conduct effective phone screenings, and then we are going to discuss about the assessment tools for candidate evaluation. Okay, so yes, first is resume screening best practices. Now, how we can resume? This is actually a very critical, or you can say a first step in identifying potential candidates to meet the job requirements. Okay, so yes, we have lots and lots of data now because we have sourced the data from various sources, from various ways, and now we have to screen this resume. Okay, so what best practices we can use to ensure an efficient and effective process, right? So first is define clear criteria. You have to define clear criteria, and in that what you have to do is job description alignment and must have versus nice to have. You have to see now what is job description alignment. Now the name suggests you have to align this with the job description. Ensure the screening criteria. Okay, the screening criteria are aligned with the job description. Identify whatever key qualifications, skills, and experience are required for the role. Okay, next is must have versus nice to have. Now you have to distinguish between qualifications. Must have, that is you must have, and preferred qualifications, that is nice to have. Okay, now this helps prioritize candidates who meets the core requirements. Like if you're looking for a must have graduate and we are thinking that okay, if a postgraduate will be there, then yes, we can prefer that candidate. In must have, mention graduation, and nice to have will obviously be a post graduation. Okay, next is you have to utilize technology. That's important. Applicant tracking system we can use to automate the initial screening process by filtering resumes based on keywords and criteria. Now see, I have bulk of resumes. Okay, I have bulk of resumes and it's not possible for me to filter them out. How I can do this? I can adopt latest techniques, applicant tracking system. Those can filter out the resumes which are not suitable. Yes, we have to write filters in that, we have to put filters, and then we can get the candidate, right? Next, this saves, obviously this will save time and help manage large volume of applications. Next is, again, you have to do a keyword optimization. Now ensure that the keywords related to whatever skills are required, qualifications are required, and which are used in the job description, as ATS rely on these for initial filtering. Okay, so you have to mention it clearly, you have to use these keywords properly, considering that yes, whatever keywords you would be using, you would be getting the result accordingly. Next is develop a screening checklist. You have to standardized evaluation, create a standardized checklist to evaluate resumes consistently. Okay, now this checklist should include key criteria such as, you can say, education, experience, skills, certifications, right? And you can adopt a scoring system, implement a scoring system to rate each resume against the checklist. Now, this helps in objectively comparing candidates. You can score them and yes, you can compare them. This helps a lot. Next is manual screening techniques. You have to do initial scan. Perform an initial scan of each resume to quickly identify red flags or missing qualifications. So do that initial scan, that is important, right? And yes, it takes around 10 seconds, 15 seconds to check this. Next is detailed review. You have to review the resumes, all those resumes that passed the initial scan. You have to conduct a detailed review to assess the depth and relevance of the candidate's experience, achievements, and skills. You can't rely only on initial scan. Initial scan is you have seen only few things randomly, and then yes, you have passed on or you have forwarded the CV. But next, you have to ensure that detailed review is done. Next is focus on achievements. Now you have to look for specific achievements and results rather than just responsibilities. Now what's happening is we are looking for the people who have done same kind of work. Okay, if you have done same kind of work, then yes, I don't have to. If you have done same kind of work, then yes, I'm ready to hire you because you have experience. And I'm not ready to train freshers. I'm not ready to train a person who has switched the profile, okay, or who doesn't possess responsibilities. This should not be there. You have to focus on achievements. Achievements provide insight into the candidate's impact and capabilities. We can analyze the capabilities and what impact they can create. So this is all in the resume screening practices. I hope so you will consider this while screening. Next is conducting effective phone screenings. Now phone screenings are again a crucial step to further evaluate candidates who pass the resume screening stage, right? What all practices we can adopt for conducting effective phone screenings? You need to understand that yes, an interviewer, HR, recruiter is a person who can evaluate 90% of the candidate over the phone only. Means after sourcing, screening, and over the phone, right? Only 10% is left. Now this is a general criteria, like if you would be asking the questions, if you would be asking proper questions, then yes, you can analyze the candidate, right? Percentage could differ, but for that you have to prepare thoroughly, right? Before a screening you have to prepare thoroughly. It should not be a random one, like you have called any candidate and then started talking. No, that will be purposeless. So you have to first of all set clear objectives. So defined objectives of phone screening means what you have to verify, like you have to verify resume details, so make proper listing of that, assessing communication skills and evaluating cultural fit, right? These things are important. Now you have to develop a script, or you can develop a script. This will help you to create consistency across all phone screenings. You will have a standardized script or question list so that same questions are asked from the same profile candidate. This include questions obviously related to the experience, skills, and what motivate them for applying. Motivation for applying. Next is structure the call. Here, introduction part will be like start with a brief introduction of yourself and the company. Explain the purpose of the call and the format it will follow. Now, see, I have seen people, and people usually say that it's better to do random phone screenings. Let's call the candidate and let's test how that candidate will react. And we won't be introducing ourselves properly, and let's see how candidate reacts. See, every person has professional and personal side. So, if you have to analyze professional side, then you have to be professional first of all. You can't expect a professional behavior when your behavior is not professional. Okay? Means being an interviewer, HR, or the representative of the company, first of all, you need to be professional, then you can expect the candidate to be professional. Fine. So it's better you must prepare for the call. You must introduce yourself and your company properly in 4 to 5 sentences so that candidate gets proper idea. Next is candidate overview. Now you have to allow the candidates to provide a brief overview of their background and experience. Now this will definitely helps set the context for the rest of the conversation. It happens that interviewer or HR think that oh, we have complete profile, why to ask intro? But that's important. How that person introduce himself or herself, here's the catch. Okay, so don't miss this. Please allow the candidate to express himself properly. Next is obviously targeted questions. Ask targeted questions to delve deeper into the candidate's experience and achievements, and you must include behavioral questions to assess how they handle specific situations in the past. Okay, so yes, this is the preparation part. You need to structure the call properly. Next is evaluate key areas. Again, what is this? Evaluate key areas. What you have to do in here? Express verification or confirm key details from the candidate's resume, such as job titles, responsibilities, and duration of employment. Next is skills assessment. Finally, we have to evaluate the technical and soft skills. Ask for examples of how they have applied these skills in previous roles. Okay, how they have applied these skills in previous roles. That's important. Next is cultural fit. Again, assess the candidate's fit with the company culture by asking questions about their work style, values, and yes, preferred work environment. So we need to analyze on the basis of cultural fit also. Next is conclude effectively. This is the most important part. When you are disconnecting the phone, you can't disconnect it randomly. Here, candidate questions, you need to allow time for the candidates to ask questions about the role and the company. This will help to provide insight into their interest and priorities. We all know that if the candidate is asking only about the money, and he's not interested in roles and responsibilities, then you can understand that that person is not serious. Okay, so we need to understand that yes, we have to ask certain questions. Next is next steps. Yes, you have to clearly explain the next steps in the recruitment process and the expected timeline for feedback. Okay, so yes, next step, it's better to intimate them, it's better to tell them how to proceed further, and yes, means expected timeline. Now, assessment tools can provide additional insights into a candidate's abilities and suitability for the role. So, what practices could be there using assessment tools? First is type of assessment tools. What kind of assessment tools are there? First is cognitive ability test. This is you can assess candidates' problem solving, analytical, and reasoning skills. These tests are useful for roles requiring critical thinking and decision making. So you must conduct this test. Next is obviously personality test. Nowadays, everyone is looking for a great personality candidate. So you need to evaluate candidate personality traits and how they align with the company culture and the role. There are common tests also, which includes like Myers-Briggs test indicator and the Big Five personality traits. Next is skill test. You have to measure the specific general or job related skills. These can include coding tests for software developers, okay, and writing samples for content creators or simulations for customer service roles. Okay, behavioral assessments, you need to use situational judgment test, and you can use behavioral interviews to assess how candidates have already handled situations in the past, and then you can predict about the future behavior. Next is implementation best practices, relevance to the role. Keep in mind one thing, that whatever assessment tools we are using, they must be relevant to the role and accurately measure the skills and attributes needed for the success in the position. Okay, so these assessment tools should be like that. Next is validity and reliability. Again, choose assessment tool so that are scientifically validated and reliable. Don't try cheap methods to evaluate these things. This ensures that results are consistent and predictive of job performance. Okay. Next is the standardization. We all know administer assessments consistently to all candidates for a particular role to ensure fairness and comparability of results. Okay, so this should be as per standard, whatever we have planned already. It should not be that we are asking 5 questions with one candidate for this one profile, and for the same profile we are interviewing another candidate and we are asking 8 questions, and that too 4 questions are too tough, right? This should not be there. We have to create some standards. Next is integrating results into the hiring process. Now, combined evaluation. What does that mean? Combined evaluation. Use assessment results in conjunction with other evaluation methods, such as you can say resume screening and interviews, to form a comprehensive view of each candidate. It should not be like I have interviewed the candidate and everything is fine, then it's fine. No, there are several methods to evaluate. You can tell them, or even we can evaluate. Right? Next is feedback mechanism. Now you need to provide candidates with feedback on their assessment results where appropriate. This enhances the candidate experience and provides transparency. Fine. So this is important. Next is continuous improvement. I always talk about this feedback and continuous improvement in all of my sessions. That's important. We need to improve ourselves as per the market. So yes, regularly review and refine the use of assessment tools to ensure they remain effective and relevant. Fine. So yes, you need to collect feedback from hiring managers and candidates to identify areas for improvement. Okay, so if I have to summarize, then yes, by following these detailed best practices, which we have started in resume screening, and then conducting phone screenings and using assessment tools, recruiters can effectively evaluate and identify the best fit for the role and the organization. Okay, this is all, and in the next session, yes, we are going to discuss an interesting session again. That will be day 5, and yes, finally, interview techniques. There, we are going to discuss about the type of interviews, and yes, how we can develop effective questioning techniques. That will be interesting. Please be here, and if it's helpful, please do let me know in the comment section. Till next video, all the very best. Stay happy, stay safe. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.